Modern workplace, what skills do you think students need to develop or workers need to develop to succeed?
First of all, I really appreciate you giving me an opportunity to add a couple of insights into this discussion. From our point of view, we have always said that if you give us people to build a car, we'll teach them the dynamics of building a vehicle. However, for us, the critical skills that we need with our production workers are critical thinkers and problem solvers, the ability to work together in a team and to support one another, the ability to find ways to improve their work, to allow them to be more efficient and more effective. So communication skills and things along those lines. We've been pretty blessed to have members here in Kentucky that has a very strong work ethic and cares for one another and cares for the product. But it's those basic problem-solving critical skills that are essential, that needs to come out of the school into the workforce.
Do you find that I know that you're a very attractive employer or place for folks to work, and I'm sure you get a lot of applications constantly. Do you have trouble finding people with the skill levels that you need, or do you see that a lot of folks don't have those among your applicants?
We do get a lot of applications, and in the initial screening phase, it's pretty evident that there are opportunities for more people to be successful through screening if they had more support, I think, from the education system before they come here. However, the most significant gap that we, and I think many manufacturers across the state and across the nation, suffer with is the skilled workforce. The skilled workforce is really a very, I would say, lucrative profession to be a part of. I'm talking maintenance, I'm talking tool and die, those types of skills. And there's a considerable gap. The majority of our skilled workforce now have been with us for a very, very long time, and we're getting more and more problems with trying to find replacements coming in. So I think it's important that we get to the school systems, and I think early, middle school, but we get into the school systems and help students and even parents understand that this is a tremendous opportunity that's really going by us at this point, and manufacturers are suffering as a result of that gap. Now, we decided to partner with BCTCS and actually set up a training program on site where we can get students out of the schools and partner with the school, the community college, and with our staff on site to do that training and that preparation. We can afford to do it, but most companies cannot. So those skills really need to come, I think, through the education system to better prepare students for that lucrative lifestyle.
Excuse me, as you know, the Chamber is working to encourage more employers to be more supportive of higher learning and the skills development that you've mentioned. What would you say to Kentucky employers about why, from your perspective, it is important that employers care about and get engaged on this subject of supporting schools, supporting higher learning?
Well, first of all, I think that we as members of industry have a very clear understanding of the skills that employees need to be able to come into our workplace and contribute immediately. There is no way really for the school system to know that. So we have to partner together to make sure that the school system understands the needs that we have so that school systems can educate the kids to be able to walk in, basically walk unqualified. I hear people say all of the time about some of the, let's say, gaps that they feel that some of our young students have coming out of high school, moving directly into industry. You know, I think back, and I think that maybe our parents probably said some of those same things about us when we were coming out of high school and going to work for the first time. So I take some of that lightly in terms of his comments, but I do think that I'm hearing it enough, and we feel it too, to substantiate that there is not a very clear transition from school into the workforce without some additional supplemental training. And I think that's the loss. You know, when you look at employment and you look at the economy, you know, it pretty much goes hand in hand. You've got to have people working to be able to make money, to be able to buy products, so that manufacturers need to build products and so forth. It's a pretty vicious cycle, and if any part of that is missed, we lose. Right now, we've got unprecedented unemployment. However, we've got companies that have jobs that they can't fill. They can't fill them because they feel like some of the available workers don't have the skills to be able to contribute. So we're all losing in this equation, and we need to work together as a team to identify those gaps, to solidify those gaps, and to move on.
Excellent. You have addressed everything that I wanted to ask you about, unless there is any additional comment you wanted to make relative to this subject or anything else for that matter.
I'll only make one, and that is we at Toyota have already made it very clear that we want to be a part of the solution. So I mentioned we're already working with community schools, community colleges to try to address some of the gaps. But I really think that some of those old practices that used to happen years ago, where we had some of our members from industry in the school system and some of the members from the school system actually working for some period of time in industry, so both sides can kind of see how the equation works, might be able to be a way to help us to at least understand the gap. Once we understand it, then we can clearly start working together to close it.
Great. Thank you.
Next one?
Sure.
And you can address your answer to Diana.
Sure.
Specific, could you get into some specifics of what people are lacking when they get out of high school to be able to come and work here? What kinds of courses do people, do they need more? I'm trying to say. The basic skills that to be able to contribute, I think, are the same skills that we had to have, you know, years ago when we came out of school. You really got to be able to clearly read and write and articulate. You've got to be able to problem solve by using basic math skills, and you've got to be able to communicate and work together to try to identify opportunities and then figure out ways to be able to solve them. So I think it's just the basic skills that we would expect anyone to be able to transition out of high school, moving into industry with. Again, it's all about being able to work together as a team, identify problems, and problem solve. That's what employers want today, not people that can just identify an issue and turn it over to someone else. You know, we thrive on employee engagement, and we found that when the employees are the ones that are identifying their problems and working to solve their problems, we end up with the best solutions. So that's what we're looking for, those basic problem solving, communication, how to address issues types of skills.